Okay. How you doing, folks out there in YouTube land? This is the Shade Tree Fix-It Man back at it. Time to change the gas tank in my '89 Toyota pickup. So hang on, here we go. First thing you got to do is take this shield off. It's to keep the bottom of the tank from getting scuffed up. Skid plate, I guess they also call it when you're four-wheeling. So we'll get this unbolted here. There's a leak on the seam. And so I ordered a new tank. I was going to pay somebody else to do it. And I thought, you know what? I really don't have the extra money these days. And so I'm going to try and do it myself. Okay, now we're under here, and this has something underneath the gas tank that many American cars don't have, and that is a drain plug, which is very nice. I came all prepared. There, on that seam, it only leaks when it's over half a tank, and there you can see the skid plate that I took off. So the next thing to do is drain the gas. So I was absolutely amazed at how easily that plug came out. You saw how rusty it was before I started opening it. And I put the wrench and socket on it, and that thing just turned so easily, it was unbelievable. And there you see it draining off. I didn't have a lot of gas in it, but hopefully, well, I guess maybe I need to open the gas cap. And all it takes to drop the tank on these is this 3 more bolts up in there, and I can't show you in the back, but there's 3 more bolts in the back. And then disconnecting the lines and the filler tube. Pretty simple and straightforward when it comes right down to it. Of course, saying it, doing it might be 2 different things. Now, while that gas tank is draining down, I haven't opened my new one that came in here a couple of days ago yet. Nice or what, huh? New gasket, new screws, I was concerned about that. Yeah, look at that. Now this one, aftermarket, does not have the drain plug on it. These lines coming up here were easy to get at with a bed off, but they're not going to be so easy to get at with a bed on. It's only 6 bolts to take the bed off. Disconnect my wires. I'm going to get somebody to come over and help me. Here's the next part of our process. You can see that one of the studs is broken out of that collar. That's from when I had the bed on. It's windy today. It's been raining for the last few days. It's going to rain again tomorrow. This is the only day till, well, I guess Monday it's supposed to be less of a chance of rain. They're saying mostly cloudy. No, mostly cloudy days around here have been mostly rainy all summer long. Month of September, we only had 8 hours of consecutive sunshine. I'm sure most of you guys are familiar with this kind of a thing here. Of course, it won't work for stainless because they're not magnetic. Something there is magnetic because it's holding. But at any rate, they keep your screws from getting loose. And we all know how it is to have your screws loose. Now, oh, can you see up in there? I'm not sure if I'm showing you right there. There it is, right there. There's a bolt, nut, and there's another one right up in there. Those are the bed nuts. And believe it or not, of course the bed was off 2 years ago, but I never put any anti-seize on there. And when I cranked on them, it just came right off. I'm going to finish taking them out. I can't hold the camera and do that at the same time, so you'll have to take my word for it. I'll show you. I wanted to show you something. You'll notice the video quality is not quite the same. My high definition camera ran out of memory. Need to get a bigger card for it. So I'm using my old still with video. But I wanted to show you these bolts that are used to hold on the bed on my truck. See that, how they get the wing on there? They're like a captured bolt. They actually slide down from up inside of the bed and down through the bracket that holds it onto the frame. And that wing is on there so that when either taking it off or putting it on, that wing swings against the edge and keeps it from turning, so you don't have to get a wrench up in there. And they did leave access so you can take those out, so when you're taking the body off, they're not bouncing around. And I'll tell you what, pretty impressive engineering if you ask me. So now I'm going to go disconnect the wires. And okay, we should be ready to take that body here. And there's where I had patched these wires together before. And so I'm going to see if I can take them apart. And I'll show you in a minute. I can't hold this and use a knife and hold the wires at the same time, so you'll forgive me, okay? Now, if this was a top-notch restoration, you wouldn't catch me doing this. I would have to replace the whole wire. And but all I'm going to do is cut those apart like that. I'm leaving enough of a pigtail on there so I can put another set of butt connectors on. And I just have to match up the colors over there. And over here, all I have to do is the same thing. This is just a ground wire for the bed to the frame. And I'm just going to clip it here. It's been clipped a couple of times before. And now, watch this. Can you see that? The bed is ready to come off. See if I can get some help and do it. Well, I wish my wife would have let herself be in the video, but she doesn't want to be in it. But my wife and I'm 62 plus, she's 61, and the two of us get that bed up and tip deck. I'm not going to take it all the way off, no sense to it. It's sitting on the back end of the frame, back in there, and sitting on this 2x4 on top of the rail. And the reason I did that is because these parts here, even though there's a flex line down here that would have allowed this to drop down a bit, it still would have been a pain, near impossible, to get these screws, and especially when you see how rusty these are. And it's going to be fun getting them out. Thankfully, the new tank came with new gasket and new screws as well. This part here is new. I replaced that when I had the tank out and the bed off before, because it was so rotted that these lines were literally falling apart. When they took it apart, they just crumbled. So those are all new, 2 years old. And so I'm going to try and get as much of this apart tonight, and we'll see what happens. Chances of me getting it done are pretty slim, because if you look down, see my view, the sun is setting in the west. It's already gone down behind the clouds, so I'm just going to do what I can. I'm glad these screws aren't just Phillips, but they're also got a hex head on them. So this part here is going to come apart easy. Just this one part here, I had to get it from Toyota. It cost nearly as much as the gas tank did. I paid $177 and change for the new gas tank. I bought it online, free shipping, which was a lot better than the parts store, which was nearly $300. And that was with some discount. Not a huge one, but with some. But this piece here cost over 160 bucks. The lines go just down to here, and then there is another one. You can't see it from where you are, but there's a joint down here. I can show you perhaps afterwards. That I'm gonna have to get my 3/8 drive for that. Doing all the easy stuff first. Did you notice that? Okay. Yeah, sure. Like you're even going to be able to grab a hold of them screws with anything. I wonder what the chances are of just whacking the heads off with a cold chisel without messing the whole thing up. Okay, little bifocal eyes are having a hard time seeing, so see what we can do. Ouch, Bree. That hurt, you know that? Ow. Okay, it's not the fuel pump. Well, that's a good thing. It's just the sending unit. As long as I didn't ruin that. I can plug this here. There we go. Clean that up. Not tonight. That is the cab. I'm going to leave that right where it is. We're done for tonight. You all have a good night, and we'll talk to you again when we start up Monday, hopefully, Lord willing.